All right, guys, welcome back to Crossman Productions. Well, guys, we made it through the weekend. Well, for some of you guys, it's the weekend. This is actually going to start uh, my day off after tonight. So Monday, man, I've had a crazy weekend. I know some of you guys have, I've seen you guys' Facebook posts, and you guys have been out there doing your things. Today, I have a special guest, David Rezaieh. David, I met through Steve. I've been bringing a lot of people in that Steve has introduced me to. I talked to Dave a little bit this past week or over the weekend, and I wanted to bring him in and kind of share his journey and have you guys get to know Dave a little bit too. Let me bring Dave in.
Hello, everybody.
How's it going, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. Sunny California. Sunny day here in Los Angeles.
Man,
almost 70 degrees.
Wow, 70 degrees, man. It's starting to really heat up here in Texas. We've been hitting mid 80s. Summertime's coming, and those hot temperatures, 103, 104, about to come out. Man,
Yeah. You got some severe weather. Houston was flooding in Houston, so hopefully you don't get it in Dallas.
Yeah. We got hit a couple of nights ago with a pretty bad storm, but
Right.
Yeah, Houston seems to get hit a lot worse than, I guess, because they're off the coast, but
yes.
they get hit a lot worse than we do. So, man, so welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you very much.
So, I wanted to bring you in. I met you through Steve, my agent, and Steve's been bringing me a lot of great people to talk to. So we've had Harry Larry Hankins on, which, by the way, I still telling you guys, if you guys have not read Larry's book, definitely go out and get that book. This is a great book. And Larry's such an interesting guy. And his story, I love listening to him. But we've had tons of guys on. We just got to doing the bombastic media and got to hang out with Matt Fisher for a little bit, be on his show, and he was on my show. And so, anyways, he's brought me a lot of people. So he brought me David, and I wanted to, introduce you guys to David and get to know David as well. So, David, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? We'll start like where you were born and raised, and what was life like for David growing up?
Well, I was born in Iran into an Armenian family. We had a great life, beautiful secular country up until they ruined it with the Islamic Revolution in 1979. I was fortunate enough to leave Iran with my family before the revolution. A lot of my friends have suffered big time because they were away from their parents growing up. And back then there was no Skype, there was no FaceTime, there was none of this technology that we have today. Right. So, being away from parents at the age of 11 until about, 25, 30 years of age is very tough. Right. When you reconnect, you can't connect because you have no connection to those people. So anyway, we left Iran in 1978. We settled in England. We had a home there since 72. My mom hated the weather there, so California, we must go to California. So we came here in 81, we settled, and we've been here since. However, during this time, I've gone back to live in England a couple of times, and I've lived in Paris and Geneva as well. Oh, wow. I'm in the hotel development consulting world. I'm in the airline world. And as I told you before, I'm kind of around Hollywood as well. But, Hollywood is just a lot of games being played, a lot of stuff happening. But, I've got some very good people that I know. I'm around a lot of people. I'm around a lot of people who are in production. I know a lot of heavyweights in Hollywood. But as an actor, no. I tried producing here and there. Funds were available, but the talent wasn't available. So the funds were withdrawn. But however, I'm in the circles and living near Beverly Hills here in West Los Angeles. You bump into a lot of stars, and the amount of travel I do, I see a lot of them at airports and airport lounges, and sitting next to me on an airplane. So I'm blessed.
Wow. So you're friends with one in particular that we talked about. Are you able to say his name or?
Say that again.
I said you're friends with one in particular that we were talking about earlier. Are you?
Oh, John Voight.
Yeah,
John
John.
Voight. Yeah, I met John Voight in 1987. He's one of the most, I mean, he's truly a very humble, down to earth gentleman, a very nice guy. He hasn't, Academy Award winner, Golden Globe winner. He hasn't lost himself, truly down to earth, great guy. And we've been friends now coming up 37 years.
Oh wow, that's a long time, man. So
Yeah.
what kind of drew you into the because you started in the hotel business?
Well, through my late father, he was
Okay.
always in aviation and in hospitality.
Right.
And I grew up with him. I worked with him. As I always say, I would never trade my 54 years with him for anything.
Mm.
We fought together. We did a lot together. We laughed together. We accomplished
Right.
a lot
Right.
together. But working with your dad has its ups and downs. One wrong move, he'll never let you forget it. A
Right.
thousand rights and one wrong. But
Right.
got to know some real heavy duty people like the Pritzker family of Chicago, the Crown family of Chicago, are one of the richest people in the United States.
Right.
Got to know a lot of movers and shakers in the hotel world, in the airline world, and we've done projects around the world. I've been blessed to travel to many destinations, many countries around the globe, and I owe it all to my father.
Wow. So let me ask you, because you moved here. What age were you when you moved here from Iran?
I was 11 when I left Iran. I was 14 when I moved to Los Angeles. However, I'd been to Los Angeles many, many times. We
Mhm.
preferred Los Angeles over London back then because, again, of the weather and
Right.
everything that Los Angeles and the U.S. has to offer. So we loved it. We settled in pretty quickly in Orange County at first, and then after 3 years, we moved to West Los Angeles, where I've been based here now, coming up this October, 40 years.
Wow. So let me ask you, moving that young into the United States, was it like a real culture shock, or was it? I
It was
mean,
well, it was different because don't forget I left all of the friends that I went to kindergarten up until
right.
fifth grade in 1978, and I came to England and I lost touch with every single one of them.
Wow.
And then we had to start over. We went to school in England for 3 years, so start over in England, then come
Mm.
to America, start over again. But in time, I found my old friends from back home, and we're still in touch, and made
Right.
new friends that we're still in touch. So it's all good.
Cool. Yeah, I just wonder. I mean, like my grandfather came here from Ireland when he was 10.
Ah,
Yeah, so I've never had it to where I came from another country, had to move at that young age, and my grandfather actually became a judge in Chicago.
excellent.
Yeah, so and I'm actually named after him. That's where my name comes from,
Awesome,
Clark McGregor.
awesome.
So yeah, so I always wonder, like for me, I would love to go back to Ireland just to see where I came from.
Of course.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I can't. I
yeah.
have left Iran November of '78, and this coming November will be 46 years that I have not
Wow.
been.
Wow. Is there a specific reason, or just because of the?
Just because my father was extremely successful. He did a lot of stuff with the Shah's regime, with just everything big you
Yeah.
did in Iran. You have to have the blessing of the Shah's foundation. And these people at the helm here think that my father was a political person, an
Wow.
ally of the Shah, but he was not. But he just did a lot of good for the country. But the more good you did back then, the worse off you are. So with this
Wow.
current regime in place, I will not risk going back.
Yeah. I can understand that definitely. So let me ask you, because you came to England, then you came to the United States, and now you're very successful in business. Um, Tell me some of the lessons that you've learned, turn that growing up that's helped you in your business.
Well, I tell you, many lessons learned. I mean, obviously, I've seen it through especially being in the airline world, I see how everything changed and how people, you know, book their trips, how they manage it, how they budget themselves. I have people that are on real tight budgets. I have people who've got a lot of money and they don't care, but they still want to fly as cheap as possible because
Right.
they want to spend their money on the ground. They don't want to spend it up in the air. And
Right.
there are still a lot of people who say, listen, a hotel is where you put your head down to sleep. I couldn't care less. So even a motel will do. I'm at the hotel anyway, every day, every minute of the day.
Right.
So, but taking lessons like, my father always taught me, stay in the best address. And if you can't afford it, spend only one night or maximum 2 nights, but
Mm.
stay in the best address if you can afford it.
Well,
So you don't have
cool.
to spend 10 days, but, spend one night or 2 nights, but stay at a good address.
Right.
Good address.
So now somebody else is trying to get into like this industry. What's some of the advice that you would give them?
Well, the airline business right now, thanks to AI and thanks to the internet and thanks to everything that's happening, we are pretty much in about 2 to 3 years. The company I'm with, we will transition into only a tour operator because selling tours will still be something that people will do in the future.
Right.
Selling air only, the airlines want you to go directly to them. They want to cut out the middle people. They have been very successful in doing so in the last 20 years, but they're getting better and better as technology is getting better and better.
Right.
So that's where we're at with that. So breaking into the airline world, travel agent world, no, that's all done. That's passe because whoever comes up to you has already done their check on Google search, on this search, on Expedia, this blah blah blah, and they know better than you.
Wow.
So, but as far as the other, which is hotels, to go through hotel school to get into the hotel world from a very young age, you start in the kitchen, you start as a doorman, but then you move up the ranks and eventually you become vice president and you travel the world and you manage hotels, exotic hotels around the world, and it's one hell of a lifestyle to have.
Wow. So what's some of the best places that you've been to?
Some of the best places.
Yes.
I mean, listen, best places obviously the south of France, the Italian Riviera, exotic destinations like India, Egypt, uh, real incredible places. And I've also been to almost every single ex-Soviet republic. There's 19 of them, like
Wow.
Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. I've been to Ukraine before they ruined it. Been to Armenia. I'm Armenian from Iran, but obviously I've got roots in Armenia.
Right.
So real interesting places, culture, food, and everything. Different, obviously, religions and everything. I've been to Islamabad, Pakistan on a hotel deal, believe it or not,
Wow.
which was an incredible destination, and I I don't know if I'll ever go back there, but Rio, obviously Rio de Janeiro. I've been there for the carnival. I've been there for a few other meetings and
Wow.
everything that I needed to do. Argentina, the world is now a very small place because we've got nonstop flights to many destinations, and because of airlines like Qatar, Emirates,
Oh, hold on.
we can definitely reach the world in a lesser hour. So.
Wow.
In the old days, it took a long time to get from here to, let's say, the other side of the world, or even Japan with a tech stop in Alaska, this that. But now,
Yep. He froze up here.
can you hear me now?
There we
I'm
go.
here.
Yeah, that's all right. I know you're on the road, so your Wi-Fi is probably a little bit going in.
I
There
can
you
hear
go.
you fine.
Okay. So um, with all the places that you've been, and um, you know, and with the industry doing like it is, do you have a specific place that you would love to retire?
I would love to domicile myself and retire in Monaco. And I have a
Okay.
very nice relationship with Prince Albert, even though I'm not going to ask him to help me out in any which way, shape, or form. But to be
Right.
domiciled and to be able to live in Monaco. Now, Monaco, you just can't have an address and use it as a tax haven. You have to live there. They check your
Oh,
water usage, they check your electricity, so you just can't get yourself an apartment and say, okay, goodbye. So
right.
I'd love to be able to live there. I got a couple of more years to go to really get financially set to do that. But
Mhm.
being set there, being 40 minutes away from Nice Airport, where you've got connections to all over the world, you're in the heart of Europe. You can drive to Italy from Monte Carlo. You can drive to Switzerland, wherever. So it's all good.
Right.
So hopefully I'll get there.
Okay. Well, cool, man. Well, sounds like you've done a lot of traveling. You know. Um.
From the
You know.
age of 4, I've been blessed
Yeah.
to have done that. Yes.
Wow. That's gotta be exciting, to be able to see all these different countries and experience, all these different cultures.
Different
I would love to
cultures,
see it.
countries, yeah,
Yeah.
religions, everything.
Wow. That's cool. So, and then you told me too that your girlfriend is a producer, or
No, she works for a production company.
oh,
They
production
produce
company. Okay.
movies, and they buy and sell movies. They distribute. They make movies. They do talent management. They do pretty much everything.
Cool. So you got a vacation coming up, or a
It's
with
kind of like
John?
it's a business trip. I'm gonna pop in and
Yeah.
see John at the festival and his
Right.
manager, who's a dear friend of mine. It's his birthday. He's having a big birthday party. But mostly for them, and then
Right.
off to England and Switzerland for some hotel work and some business meetings.
Wow. And you're about to leave town again in a couple of days.
I'm leaving on Thursday. Yes, I'll be leaving on
Wow.
Thursday, and I'm back towards the 28th of the month. So pretty much all of May I'll be gone.
Wow. What's it like doing that too when you're traveling so much? You ever had like a time in your life you're like, hey, I wish I could just stay, in this one
Yeah, of
specific.
course.
Wow.
Packing and getting to the airport, going through
Yeah.
security, doing all of that, does have its challenges. But then again,
Right.
it's a lot of fun. Listen, for 2 years, 2.5 years, we were sitting idle because of the pandemic. And when it
Right.
opened up, I was itching to get back on the road. And, I love it. I love it. I mean, I rested for 2.5 years. That was okay. So I like it this way better.
Right. So what was that like with once that pandemic hit and they shut all the airports down?
That's the
Uh,
most weirdest thing I've ever gone through. I mean, looking at everything from flight radar and seeing just a handful of airplanes flying, looking at
right.
the webcam at the airports where you can roll a ball. I mean, it's just shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'm living in a movie or something. I thought it was like the apocalypse or that movie with Tom Hanks, Vanilla Sky. I thought
Right.
it was like that.
Wow. Yeah, I know that I lived right next to an airport, and we're used to having the planes fly right over us every day,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
then
I mean, listen,
after.
where you are, Dallas Fort Worth is one of the busiest airports, and
Right.
they were swatting flies there, like Atlanta, which is the busiest airport in the world,
Right.
and everywhere else. So it was just having witnessed that, and having witnessed what was before, and now we're pretty much back to pre-pandemic levels. The only thing we're waiting for now is for China to open up.
Mm.
China's not open yet, but the rest of Asia and the Orient are open, and flights are full, and prices are sky high.
Yeah. You think that the prices will ever come back down so people could travel again, or?
Listen, everybody was saying the first year it's revenge travel. It's going to come back. Fares are going to go down. We're now going into the third season after COVID, and prices are even higher, and people are paying. So
Wow.
it's like if you've got a room to Airbnb for 500 a week, if somebody wants to pay you 2,000.
But, yeah, go ahead and repeat the last because we lost your audio.
Yeah, I said it's like if you Airbnb a room for 500 a week, but
Right.
somebody wants to pay you 2,000 a week, you'll take
Mm.
it,
Yeah.
and that's what the airlines are doing. They've jacked up the fares, and people are paying, and the airlines are way too happy right now.
Wow. And that's another question because you deal with hotels. How is the Airbnb affecting the hotel sales now?
Listen. right now, Airbnb is doing their own thing. The hotels are doing their own thing. Hotels are they're really gouging prices. They're really taking their prices pretty high. There are some people who refuse to stay in somebody else's apartment or house.
Right.
So they're still the road warriors that say, no, we rather stay, downsize from a 5-star to a 4-star, but still stay in a hotel. So
Right.
I think that has its own space, and hotels have their own space. And if you look at all the hotel updates on a monthly basis, Marriott, Starwood, Hilton, Hyatt, and all the other chains, they've got thousands of hotels in the pipeline waiting to open.
Wow.
A lot of
And
stuff happening.
I could think I would rather stay at a hotel just because you have, a nice hotel where you have the accommodations where you go get breakfast and, have all that pretty much there.
Absolutely. They come and clean your room every day.
Right.
You get clean sheets. You get, everything done. Everything is beautiful. Hang on for 1 minute. We'll be all set in a minute. So, yeah, absolutely. And I'm definitely one of them. I'm a hotel guy. I will not stay in somebody's house or in somebody's apartment.
Wow. So what's next for you? So once you decide to retire, where do you plan to see yourself in about maybe 5-10 years after?
If I can make it into retirement within the next 5 or 10 years,
Right.
again, I would domicile myself in Europe, in Monte Carlo. I'll visit my friends back and forth here,
Right.
and hopefully my friends will visit me as well, because the flight is a pretty long flight, and
Mm.
getting older, it's difficult crossing the pond. So that's what I look forward to.
Well, cool, man. So no, do you have your specific company for the that you work for the whole lot
Yeah,
and
my,
your life?
my company is a company which we only deal with travel agents, so we're a wholesaler. We don't deal with the public.
Okay. Okay.
So we're only known in the trade news and the trade world, because the public can't get a hold of us. But I do have my friends around me, my lawyer friends, my dear friends, my doctor friends, whoever wants, they call me. I'll take care of them. But our company is only geared to take care of travel agents.
Okay. So the only way that people can like hire your company or whatever, they have to be travel agents.
That's right.
Okay. And if they are travel agents, how would they contact you guys to get a hold of you?
Well, we pretty much, this company that I'm with has been in business for over 37 years.
Okay.
So there's only 10 of us that are wholesalers across the country. And every travel agent kind of works with their own kind of consolidator. That's what we're called, an airline consolidator.
Okay.
And everybody knows who everybody is. And it's based upon, service, and how quickly you get your commissions from us and all that stuff, how quickly we process refunds and everything. So people base us on that.
Okay. Now, if somebody wanted to be an air consolidator and work for one of your those companies,
Yeah.
how
Those
do
days
they
are
go about that?
definitely over, because the airlines do not give contracts anymore. They're pretty much shut down.
Mm.
Where, even with my experience of almost 40 years, if I was to go to an airline company right now and say, I've got now David Travel open, I like to get a contract from you, they're going to say, great knowing you, great to know you. Yes, we know you, we trust you, but we're
Right.
closed for giving contracts out. Go
Oh,
get it from somewhere else.
wow, man, that's a tough industry to be in, dude.
It, Listen, it was a great industry when we first started consolidation with my late father back in 1985, but
Right.
then it just grew, it evolved, it changed, and technology and internet, and now this AI, they're really putting a different spin on it.
Wow.
I mean, like in the old days, if I was to issue a ticket for you, I had to
Mhm.
physically get you a ticket in your hand for you to get that discount.
Right.
There was no ifs or buts. Now you can call me, say, hey, I'm on my way to the airport. I need your ticket. Boom, it's there.
Wow. Yeah. Technology has changed so much in the last 20
Yes.
years. So
Yes. And I wish it didn't, but it has. But the only thing that technology hasn't changed is you need a lawyer, you need a doctor, you
right.
need
Right.
you need to go somewhere to get a haircut.
Right.
Those you can't do through computer.
Right. We were talking about how technology has changed with just in the industry, even for like people like me, where we could get up, and do these interviews and talk to people like you all in California. A
Yeah,
couple of years ago, this
yeah,
wasn't even possible. So
that's right. That's
yeah,
right. And that's why a lot of people are still choosing Zoom instead of travel. So
right,
that travel has been cut down a little bit, and companies are saving money. So you know, yeah,
man.
technology is incredible.
Yep. There's a positive and there's a negative side to it. So
That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
but
That's right.
we're as a human race, we're going to keep evolving, and I don't know. It's the sad part is that technology is going to start taking away a lot of jobs. Uh,
Unfortunately, yes.
yeah,
They're even talking about pilotless airplanes. Right now in Beverly Hills, I have a car passing by me that's no driver whatsoever. It's a driverless car. I have a
wow.
video of it that I took a couple of days ago. People are
Right,
actually sitting in the back seat, but there's nobody in the front seat.
wow. Would you
Yeah.
trust something like that? I mean, just
I wouldn't trust the car, let alone the airplane. Are you kidding me?
right. But that's probably the
Yeah.
route that we're going.
Yeah.
So
And then what really bothers me nowadays is when somebody buys a ticket or something, they say, "Am I going to have Wi-Fi on the airplane?" I said, "Listen, man, the Wi-Fi only came into airplanes 12, 14 years ago. Just
right,
relax." In the old days when I flew from LA to, let's say, London or something on a 10-hour flight, we got 2 movies and we had 8 channels of entertainment.
right.
Right now, the airline's offering 100 channels of entertainment and 70 different types of movies for the same thing. And if
Wow.
it doesn't work, people are in an uproar. Okay, so it's an airplane, it's a machine, it's not working. So what? I mean, the other day I was coming back on a British Airways flight. Wi Fi didn't work. The captain apologized, the purser apologized, and these people are going to tear up the airplane. Okay, it's not working. What do you want to do?
Wow. Yeah. People are just getting spoiled, man. They're getting
Yeah.
spoiled.
And
And
my friend said, my kid's going to go bananas. I said, okay, if that was me, I'd slap him.
wow.
There's no internet. Just behave.
Right. Right. Wow. Man. Well, I want to thank you, man. Thank you for being on
I
the
really
program.
appreciate you, and I hope to see you one day in Texas in person so we can get a good Texas barbecue together.
That sounds great, man. We'll hook it up. The Texas got the barbecue.
You got it, sir. Pleasure.
All right, brother. Well, thank you again so much for being on the show, man. I
My
really
pleasure,
appreciate
and have
it.
a wonderful week ahead.
All right, you too. All right, guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Remember, guys, until the next show, you are uniquely designed with a purpose, and always keep moving forward. Peace.
Absolutely. Thank you.